guys, and welcome back to another episode of Off the Shelf. I'm your host, Rodent Time HD, and this week, what we found off the shelf was...
Ever since I was a child, people said my family was cursed. Mom tried to protect us with God. Pop tried to protect us with wrestling. He said if we were the toughest, the strongest, nothing could ever hurt us.
I told you to look out for him!
I just love being out there with you guys. It's the only thing that matters to me.
The Bonners will forever be the greatest family in the history of wrestling.
The Iron Claw, released in 2023. It is a professional wrestling biopic. I like these things. And it is written and directed by Sean Durkin, I believe is how I say his name. I'm very sorry if I didn't pronounce that correctly. And it is starring Zac Efron, Jeremy Allen White, Holt McCallany, Maura Tierney, Stanley Simmons, and Lily James. It is also based on the life story of the Von Erich pro wrestling family. Well, they're a family of wrestlers, but it's the Von Erich family, you get what I mean. And if you guys don't know, I am a huge wrestling fan, but maybe I'm a poser. I never knew the full story of the Von Erichs. I knew that it was really sad, and I knew that 90% of them died, right? I knew that Kevin was the only one that survived, right? He was the only one that lived, and the rest of them died. But I didn't, know the specifics, right? I didn't know what happened. And I guess maybe that's foolish of me to be a wrestling fan or as long as I have, and I never knew the story of the Von Erichs, right? Probably one of the most, infamously sad stories in professional wrestling history. And I will say, this movie is a great movie, and I think it's just really, I wouldn't call it enjoyable. So it's a great movie in the fact that it's really well made. It's so accurate that they had people who, the referees and, some of the wrestlers who wrestled at this time in world-class championship wrestling, right? They wrestled there in that arena, and they're like, man, it's I couldn't do the scene because it was like I was in a dream, man. They thought it was exactly like how it was back in the 80s. But that's the accuracy, but it's also just a huge downer, man. And that's not a negative. It's just so fucking sad. The story in real life was so sad they had to tone it down for the movie. And here's the thing. It's still fucking, incredibly depressing. So imagine the story being so sad that the sad movie couldn't be any sadder, right? Reality sucks, I guess, is maybe the lesson to learn from that. And I think, something, at one point I'm in the I'm watching the movie, right? And I'm so this movie to me, because all this stuff happened, right? Obviously, there's a bit of fictionalization and dramatization. Well, not dramatization, but there's, fictionalization. Some of the stuff in this movie was fictionalized or was, filling in the blanks for stuff we didn't really exactly know, right? To obviously make more sense for the movie. I will say, though, I think this movie is just... I think, honestly, what really surprised me is just how much these actors, obviously, since they're playing pro wrestlers, they kind of had to bulk up a bit, right? Most pro wrestlers have, a certain physique. Not all of them, mind you, but a lot of them usually have a specific, big guy or, stronger physique. So, Zac Efron was, jacked in this movie, and he didn't even look like Zac Efron. I'm not even gonna hold you. He did not even look like Zac Efron. I didn't even recognize him when I first saw him in the movie, and that's a good thing, right? When I watch the movie, I don't want to see Zac Efron. I want to see Kevin Von Erich, right? I want to see the Von Erichs. I don't want to see the actors. And also, Zac Efron really shocked me with how powerful and moving his performance was, right? I thought he had a very emotional performance, and I think people say that he should have gotten nominated for the Oscars. I think when it came out, it was a little late for nominations. They had kind of already been in. It was kind of like a bad period. But I'm why not? Why couldn't he have gotten nominated? I mean, I thought it was a great performance, and I think it deserved at least more recognition, in my opinion. I thought it was a very I'm not against Zac Efron. I just like it really in a good way. It shocked me because it's like it was that good. Also, one thing I also really liked about it was how, of course, Kevin Von Erich actually said when Sean Durkin approached him about, asking, like, hey, would you be okay if I made this movie? Because obviously you got to get permission from the Von Erichs to make the movie. So he talked to him, and he said, well, I'll let you make this movie on one condition, if you show how much my brothers and I loved each other, right? And he's like, well, that's basically the whole movie. And Kevin Von Erich was like, well, I trust him with everything now. Right? He's like, I don't even need to ask him to put that in the movie. It was already in the movie. So he's like, he understands our story, is basically what he was saying. And I can tell, like, there was a lot of passion and love put into this movie. I can tell. Because I watched a behind-the-scenes documentary, and the director talked about how when he was a kid, he used to buy these, like, old cassette tapes where he would, like, watch old WCCW matches that had the Von Erichs on them against the Freebirds, and like, that had Harley Race and had all these different guys on it, Ric Flair, all that stuff, and like how much he was so moved by it. But I think like the Von Erich like tragedy had already happened at this point. He was like it was before his time, but I can tell, like, with even just, like, the little shots in this movie, with the little, like, because there are certain points in the movie where it's, like, production, it's, like, you're, like, watching a reenactment of the, like, live broadcast, right? Like, from the camera angles to the, like, little 80s, like, graphics with the yellow text and the red lines. It just looked very old school, looked very faithful. The way they, like, recreated, what was it, the Sportatorium, was that what it was called? The Sportatorium, I believe is how you say it. And it just looked, I don't know, it just looked wild, I guess. It looked wildly accurate. So much so that it's like a time capsule. Like, they went back in time to the 80s to film this film. It looked that good. And I remember there were, like, moments where I'm like, hey, I know that wrestler, right? I know that wrestler from the 80s. I know Bruiser Brody. I know Harley Race. I know I know the Fabulous Freebirds. Obviously, it's not, like, for fan service, because it's not, like, a fan service thing. Like, those are actual wrestlers that actually wrestled at the time and actually wrestled the Von Erichs. So, it's not, because obviously this movie wasn't made for that. This movie was made mostly for the Von Erichs, I feel like. This movie was a love letter to the Von Erich family. And I think that did a great job. I think this movie, I'm a wrestling fan, so I knew who the Von Erichs were, but I think, like, the general casual audience, hell, I feel like even most, like, modern casual wrestling fans may have never even heard of the Von Erichs. So I think when this movie came out, I think one thing that it did really well was, introduce, or not, like, it did a good thing by introducing this story to a lot of people who may not have ever heard of it, right? I think it's all about getting the story out there, getting their story out there, which I think is very good. And I remember when this movie came out, everybody was talking about it. Everybody was raving about it, and everybody was praising it, right? It was getting acclaim everywhere, and it was getting a lot of attention to the Von Erich story. And I just think that is I think that's a really nice thing, right? Because obviously, even though Kevin Von Erich, on the interviews that I saw of him in the movie, he seems like a very glass half full type of person, right? Where he's like, a lot of people said what happened to me was a tragedy, but you know what? I don't really think that's true. So he says that, but like 5 of his brothers died, like really traumatically, and they all died like really close together. And obviously he's, like, come to terms with it, and he's coped with it, and he's found ways to deal with it. But I'm just saying, he's got much better mental fortitude than me. Because if I had, not all, like, he had a younger brother, or not, an older brother. He had an older brother when he was younger, that died when he was younger. But the rest of them died when he was, like, around the, like, 5 years or so. They died really close together, in like 10 years or so. Either way, that's not a lot of time. Like, your brothers should not be dying that close together, right? Your family should not be dying that close together. I'm just saying, he's got better will than me. He is, much better at dealing with stuff, I guess. He's got a very strong mind, strong-willed person, which I can respect, right? I can very much respect his enthusiastic, positive mentality. And of course, I respect the Von Erich family 100%, 1,000%. They're an absolutely legendary professional wrestling family. Ross and Marshall Von Erich, they still wrestle to this day, who are sons of, they're sons of Kevin Von Erich. And they are wrestling under All Elite Wrestling, the #2 professional wrestling company in the world. I mean, I'd say that's pretty good. And he has, like, 20 grandchildren? I'm pretty sure that the Von Erich curse has been broken, right? Since they all seem fine, right? And there are Von Erichs wrestling right now, and they seem A-okay, which is great. Kevin broke it. He broke the cycle. He broke the curse. And now the family is flourishing, which is great. It would have been nice for his brothers to also be here, but at least he has a lot of family still. Either way, I'm going off on a tangent, but I don't know. I just think this story really moved me, right? Obviously, it's also a lot about family and, you know, the love for your family, the love for your brothers. And I have brothers, right? So I can really relate to this movie. Obviously, I can't relate to a lot of the, like, extreme parts of it, but I can relate to, you know, just wanting the best for your brothers, caring about your family, loving your family, you know, wanting to be there for them. I can really relate to that. So I think this story just really, like, it got me in the feels, you know what I mean? It really touched me, I guess, is a good way to describe it. Either way, I'm gonna stop talking now. I think I've said what I need to say about this movie, and I think I would highly recommend this movie. If you're not a wrestling fan, I think there's a lot of enjoyment to be had. If you are a wrestling fan, I think there's even more enjoyment to be had. Even if you already know the Von Erich story, to have it be visualized like this, I still think would be like a good experience to watch as a wrestling fan. And as I said, even not as a wrestling fan, it's still a good movie. And with that being said, I think I would rate this film an 8 out of 10. And, yeah, I think I've said what I said. Think I've said my piece. So, guys, I hope you like this video. Share it with friends. Subscribe. Turn those notifications on. Comment down below how much you liked it. And I've been on Time HD, off to deliver a crossbody from the top rope. I'm not gonna jump. I got neighbors. But I could, like, you could, like, edit it. You could be like, yeah, you know? Like, oh, he's going off the top rope, you know, like, something like that. You could, like, add some, like, commentary. I don't know. Cool move, though. I was watching this movie, right? And I didn't even know that one of the Von Erichs had signed to the WWF, right? I didn't even know at that time that they had. And it was Kerry Von Erich, and he was even a WWF Intercontinental Champion, right? And I'm like, how did I not know this? And it's because, for some reason, even though he was one of the most popular wrestlers in the Texas territories and, like, the NWA, he was super popular, former NWA World's Heavyweight Champion, they're like, you know what? This guy, Kerry Von Erich, who has a lot of recognition in the Texas territories and in the NWA, you know what? We're gonna take that away. We're gonna call him the fucking Texas Tornado. Great job. You'll really get over with that name.